Hola mis amigos, we're making pumpkin donuts. Today's video is brought to you by Belgoods Bakeware, who was kind enough to send me this mini donut pan that is made of 100% food grade silicone to try out. And as you guys know, I like to bake my cookies on a silicone mat, so I already know that this is going to be a pretty nice pan because I won't have to worry about having any trouble with anything sticking to it or having any trouble cleaning it as well. So I'm not going to bother spraying any cooking spray whatsoever on here. I'm just going to add the batter straight into the pan and give it a shot. And it should be able to just pop right out by pressing the back of the pan here. And this pan is also dishwasher safe. And one thing that I found really neat about it is that it is also microwave safe. As you can see, it is nice and small and it fits into the standard size microwave. So you could go ahead and make a batch of donuts in the microwave if you decide to take that route. So I will have to try that out someday, but today I am going to be using this in the oven. So let's go ahead and check it out and see how this bakes. You will need to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And here in this bowl, I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour. And to that, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. And pumpkin pie spice is just a mixture of cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, and allspice. So if you don't have it, you can just mix those ingredients together or just use some cinnamon. Next, I'm adding 1 cup of sugar, 2 eggs, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 2 cups of pumpkin puree, and a half of a cup of milk. My milk of choice is coconut milk, but you can use, of course, regular dairy milk. And we're just going to mix all of our ingredients together. Alright, now that everything is nice and mixed together, we are ready to add this to our donut pan. And as you can see, this is a lot of batter. So we will have several dozens of mini donuts. So it would be a good idea to have mini donut pans. So let's go ahead and check this out. And each of these little donut wells here have a capacity of 2 tablespoons of batter. So I am going to scoop here with my tablespoon measuring spoon, and I'm going to try and get this in here neatly. Okay, so I have one of them filled in here, so I'm going to go ahead and take care of filling in the rest. I am going to try to fill them just under the rim, so that way I don't have to worry about losing the hole in the middle when they rise. Okay, so I've gotten my pan nice and filled up, and while I was filling these, I was thinking that it would probably be a lot easier and quicker if you put your batter into a piping bag or just a regular freezing bag and cut the tip and pipe your batter into the donut cups. I think that'll be a whole lot easier and quicker if you are making a large batch of these. So what I'm going to do now is I am just going to pick up the pan and just give it a few taps onto the counter just to release any air bubbles that might be in the bottom. And into the oven we go for 8 to 10 minutes to see how this comes out. Alright, we're back and my donuts are fresh out of the oven. I was a little concerned that I may have overfilled them and I would lose the donut hole in the middle, but so far so good. So I'm going to let these cool for about 3 minutes or so before I attempt to take these guys out of the pan. So I will see you soon. All right, so my donuts are still warm, but they have cooled considerably. So now time for the moment of truth. Let's see if we can get these out of the pan easily. All right, let's go for the one on the corner. So I can already see that it is pulling away from the pan. So I'm going to put a finger under the bottom and just give it a light press and see if it will come right up. And there we go. Isn't that awesome? We have a perfectly sized mini donut and the hole is indeed intact. So I did fill them perfectly. I'm going to go ahead and get all of these out and we will take a look at the pan and see how it looks. All right, I am all done with getting all of my donuts out and you can see that it is pretty clean. Any of the residual batter that is left over is really not even in the cup. It's mostly the ones that have spilled over on the edge or the little donut hole creator. There's a little bit of the dough there, but for the most part it is nice and clean and I'm not going to have any trouble cleaning this at all. Just a quick wipe down and then I can throw this in my dishwasher since it is dishwasher safe and I won't have to worry about this at all. Also, every single one of my donuts are intact. None of them broke at all in the process of trying to get them out of the pan. It was nice and smooth. At this point, you could get pretty fancy with your donuts and create a frosting if you'd like, but I prefer my donuts to be pretty plain. So here in this plate, I have just some sugar and a little bit of that pumpkin pie spice, and I am just going to press one side of my donut into that sugar and pumpkin spice mixture, and there we have it. You want to do this while it is warm so the sugar sticks to your donut. But other than that, that is all there is to it. Once again, I'd like to thank Belgoods Bakeware for sending me this donut pan to try out. I will have a link in the description box below so that you can get yours. It is only $12.99 and I highly recommend it. It is a lot of fun to use. I can see this as being a fun project to enjoy with your kids, and the size of the donuts is a perfect fit in that case, and also for a guilt-free small snack. So definitely give this a try. Pumpkin donuts, enjoy, and I'll see you at the dinner table.